is it that you think about when you think about the spiritual success zone? What does that mean? Does it mean that you get into the zone of improvement? Or really what it is to get into the zone of being very productive, because you're in that success zone. You're in the zone with the Lord where He touches and changes all things. He helps to improve relationships. He helps to improve our productivity. He keeps us away from anything and everything that is going to interfere with us being successful. And the biggest thing that we can look at when we come into the spiritual success zone is our attitude. What does it mean to have a great attitude or even a good attitude? Have people said to you, boy, you really have a good attitude? Or on the other hand, if they said to you, ooh, your attitude stinks, or you need to have an improved attitude. Or here's a good question for you. Do you have a different attitude depending on what you're doing? If you're doing something you like, you're all happy and you have a great attitude. But if you're doing something that you don't particularly like, do you say, I don't like doing this, and your attitude stinks? Say that you're making a dinner and that you don't really, say, like to cook. Are you just putting it on the table and you're like, here's your dinner, enjoy? Or are you saying, gosh, I really enjoy this, I'm going to do the best I can? Our attitude affects everything we do. No matter where we go, what we do, even what we think, our attitude comes into play. And if we consciously think about adjusting our attitude, then the Lord can touch us by His power, by His might, to give us success in all that we do. If you walk into your boss and you have a negative attitude, well, what's going to happen immediately? That boss is going to have a negative attitude as well, or going to be like, what is wrong with you? Why do you have such a poor attitude? But if we walk in there and we're upbeat and we're thinking positive and we're saying, I know that I'm going to have favor with this boss today and I'm going to have a great attitude, then almost immediately their attitude changes because your attitude changes. Our attitude, whether we like it or not, has a great deal to do with how the outcome of things turn out because of our attitude. And when we have that good attitude, we can be blessed in so many different ways. Here's another example. When you go to a restaurant and you have a good attitude with the server and you say, please and thank you, and could you help me with this or that or the other thing, then you're probably more than likely going to get good service. Same thing on the other end. Have you had a waiter or waitress that has had a poor attitude and they come at you and they're just very abrupt or curt and they're just very blunt about serving you? Well, then you don't have as nearly as enjoyable experience. So I want you to walk away today with thinking about how our attitude affects our disposition, the outcome of things, and if we walk in that zone of success. Because with a proper and a good attitude, the outcome is very positive. And it doesn't matter really what the other person may think or do. It's all about your attitude, for that's what's driving you. If you have to make a change and you have a good attitude about the change, then likely that change is going to go well. But if you have a poor attitude about that change, then likely the change is not going to go well. So I want you to just think about, as you go forward in these days ahead, what is your attitude like? What is, when you go into anything, when you wake up in the morning, do you have a good attitude? You're like, oh, I'm not going to say that you're like, oh, I can't wait to start the day. But do you wake up with, oh, it's another day. I have to go to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. What is your attitude with those you encounter? Are you happy to see them? Are you trying to improve their life? Or are you having a poor attitude when you meet people? So think about, in all your encounters, what is your attitude? What are you doing to make a difference in your life, but also for others? Because you're going to be in that success zone the better your attitude is, and you will make others' lives better. But also, too, as we will talk about in the next video, we're going to talk about the adjustment that we need to make. So what are the adjustments? So I encourage you to tune into the next video on adjustments. And as I leave you today with attitude, think about all the times, the different attitudes that you have and how you can improve that attitude. Thanks, and have a blessed day.